Good morning, it's Jeffrey Cohen. It's Wednesday, June 11th. Markets open in about an hour. We're investment advisors. I'm an investment advisor representative with U.S. Advanced Computing Infrastructures, Inc. We're in Illinois. And talking this morning about the market. So just personally a little tired today. Got the wife off to work, got the kids off to school, and now trying to figure out where's the market going. And we ran our job last night, and so I downloaded it. We've got all the analysis that we need, and just a lot going on. And I'm going to try to, have like a note here open so I can take notes, and we can tell you where we're at. So I actually don't know where the markets are today. I have this weird feeling, though, because a couple things have happened. So for our model, we had to change a few things. We had to reset parameters to increase the risk-free rate of return on money to 4.60%. That's from 4.5. It's not a lot, but rates are up. And we reduced our return on risk assets to 9.0% plus dividends. It was 11%. So that's going to change things. That's going to de-risk our model, right? Because right now, our model has been just making a ton of money. But it's so risky. It wants you to invest in a few stocks, big bets, and it's just, there's some days it's making like 10%, which is crazy. It's just crazy. So it's interesting, right? So this should de-risk the Chicago Quantum Net Score, which means it should de-risk other quantitative models out there. So that's why we bring it up. I think it's going to make more people nervous about big bets into risky stocks. The second thing is I just wouldn't want to be the transportation secretary right now. Buttigieg. The FAA has a system down. The NOTAMs system is down. They're expecting everything to be up at 9 a.m. So in like 22 minutes, they're expecting departures to resume, and then other departures will resume at 9 a.m. So it's interesting, right? So they paused all domestic departures in the United States. That's rough. That's rough business right there. Every domestic, I used to travel for business, right? This would just mean I'm not at a client. I'm actually sitting around doing nothing. So let's see what other news. That was big news. So to be honest with you, that kind of threw me for a loop today because Buttigieg is the transportation secretary, and I love it. He says he's in touch, right? So he's the same guy that instead of helping Southwest Airlines said he was in touch. He sent a really mean letter to Southwest Airlines CEO. So, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I think they're not doing the right thing. None of this news is interesting. Nothing is interesting right now in the stock markets, the FA outage. The only thing interesting here is that nobody won Mega Millions. Excuse me. But if you're interested, you could win $1.35 billion with $2 bet on Friday. Holy cow. 7, 13, 14, 15, and 18. I was going to pick all prime numbers. So what I did was I didn't actually buy a lottery ticket. I filled out a lottery ticket right there. And I said, hey, let's see if I was going to win. But I'm going to save the $2. Actually, it would be $6. And let's see, Mega Ball 9. Nope, would have lost on that one. And I didn't have a 7. I didn't have a 13. So basically, I didn't have any of the numbers. 14, 15. Oh, I had a 15. Let's see. 30. Nope. No 18s. All right, I got one right. Oh, I guess my $6 phantom bet goes back in the bank, which is where it belongs, or my wallet, which is great. So, where are we with the news? First off, nothing going on, right? So now let's look for any kind of financial news. Do we have Bloomberg TV? I like when they show that stuff. We'll move that over here. I like Bloomberg TV, actually. I like it a lot. Look at FinViz. One interesting thing is the new highs, new lows. There aren't very many of them. So there's like thousands of stocks that trade every day. There's probably 2,000 of them at volume. And there's only 107 new highs. So it's 2-to-1 new highs, new lows. That's actually pretty positive. It was an up day. I mean, for whatever it's worth, right? I'm not going to drink any coffee, am I? So new highs to lows is roughly 2-to-1, but it's a low number of them. Market's pretty balanced, but your advancers to decliners was up. And so, all right, what else we got? It's interesting because early in the day, right, it looked like it was really going to burst out, and then it popped back to the 38.90, and then it popped back up to 39.19. There was news yesterday. There was Mike Williams came out from Morgan Stanley and said the market's going to basically drop to 3,000, and there's some weakness there. Party City looks like it's trying to recover. Party City is a bankruptcy play right now. Is there any interesting news? Bed Bath & Beyond is a bankruptcy play. Anything happening? So funny. Sometimes there's just nothing. I get no read. Market's up slightly. Actually, market's up a lot. 0.3. But the VIX is up. The VIX is actually low. 30-year bond prices are actually pretty good. They're bouncing back up. Now they're down, but they're not even close to the 120s where I was excited. You've got, they're like, I don't know, it looks like there's a resistance level right here at 130, 132. I don't know. Interesting to watch, but not definitive. Not definitive. Jeffrey, what's definitive? I'm watching you now for 10 minutes. I got nothing. It's true. We got nothing right now. Should you buy a dividend stock? Oh, great. Flights delayed. Ebola outbreak ends. So the airlines are screwed, and the whole transportation system is messed up. But that's not really news. Kirkland holiday sales fell more than expected. That's interesting news. Home decorator retailer Kirkland. Same stores fell 5.5%. Okay. It's a small retailer. It doesn't really matter. But that'll be interesting. There may be some news on that one. Do we see anything here on the futures? The dollar's up ever so slightly. I got nothing here, okay? I got nothing. So, what else do we have? I really frustrates me when there's no news. Except for Mega Millions. That's so stupid. Anyone out there? Anybody want to ask me anything? AMA? Ask me anything. Go ahead. I love it. Because right now it's crap. TweetDeck. Chicago Quantum is hosting a seminar with Professor. This should be great. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Quantum computing, quantum, U of C. Where's the University of Chicago? No, U of C. Where's the University of Chicago? Come on. Right, U? Maybe it's UC? There it is. University of Chicago. Good. So, anything? Anything? Old Yeller? I got nothing. I got nothing in the news here. I got nothing on my TweetDeck. How's Corbus doing, right? I bet Corbus is going to do great today. 14 cents. All right. I don't know. There's no news on Corbus. So what I do is I go SEC Edgar search on any companies I'm interested in. So what's happening with Old Yeller? Nothing since December 13. Okay. How about Corbus? January 6th. How about SMLP, which I love in the old days, December 15. I don't know, nothing. David Rubenstein, Carlyle Group, co-chairman and co-founder. From the 15th floor of a skyscraper in the heart of London, 30 employees carry out investment research for its owner. All right. Well, they're trying to make money too. That makes sense. So what else we got? Any portfolios interesting? So if we look at from like a month ago, the ups and the downs. Let's reorder these. Apps, Upstart, and SI. Save it. So the downrun stocks are the top ones. So pre-market, they're all up. Bed Bath & Beyond is going to squeeze higher. It's up 27%. I wonder if that guy got back into it, that college kid. And actually, the longs are up a little. Who knows? Maybe this is how we're going to figure it out. Let's look at oil, gas, and pipelines. Couple pipelines. Matador's down. Enbridge is always interesting. We did work for them. They're up in Canada. Pretty good leadership team. Solid people. Petrobras is up. I guess the Brazilians figured out their political crisis. It only took them like a week. I love the Brazilians. I've done work in Brazil too. They really struggle to find good people. That's their issue. Steel, mining. It's like a reopening trade. And then all the crypto crap is down. Cannabis and tobacco. Still waiting for the SAFE Act. Although it looks like it's up, right? So most cannabis is up. So the question is, why is that, right? Chips and semis. Mixed. So that means the old trade and high beta isn't really being played today. B2B, B2C tech, real tech, not high, not no profit tech, but guys who make money, guys who make sales, guys who do work. It's pretty good today. So what's interesting is S&P futures are up, and it's like old economy. Trucking and transport looks solid. Looks solid. So there must just be some good news. People must be betting on good news. So we're looking at our banking sector without any prejudice on valuations. This is just like a lot of them. Truist is down 5% pre-market. KeyCorp is down. U.S. Bancorp is down a little bit, tiny bit. And then you see Lakeland Financial's up. They got an interesting play. They're in Indianapolis, Indiana Bank, Greene County, Carver, Ally up. The Lakeland Financial is interesting. We're going to watch that today. That's a stock we've shorted in the past. It's a good short, actually. It's a good short. That one's a good short. Lakeland Financial's a good short. Take a look. I don't know why it's up 5% pre-market. That's just weird to me. How about the money managers? They're looking solid. It's interesting. Looking solid on the money managers. So is there a coal trade maybe? No. I mean, Hallador is almost $10. It's consistently up there. I guess they bought that power plant. Doing all right. So let's take a look at downtrodden, unprofitable stocks. So these are the stocks that have dropped in price and lose money. And those are predominantly up. I got to tell you, if I sat down with a professor like at U of C or Northwestern or at IIT, where I've gotten my 2 degrees and halfway through a PhD, and I would have said, the stocks that are doing best today are the companies that lose money and the stocks that are down a lot. I'm sure my professor would have been like, F, Jeffrey, F. You suck. Don't do that. All right. Here's downtrodden profitable stocks. Here's stocks that make a profit, but their stocks are down. And they're up too. So this must be a buy the dip day. This is a buy the dip day. This is a buy the dip day. And this is a B2B and B2C kind of old economy day to day. Those stocks are being bid up. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. There's no news really. So let's see. So let's take a look at the 13-week Treasury. 4.55. And interestingly enough, the long bonds are down today. So all money yields are lower today, U.S. Treasury, at least that we can see. Long are down significantly. 3 bips or 5 bips, 5 basis points. Okay, that's interesting. That's news, right? So interest rates are lower. That's good for companies because they borrow. They borrow. So this investors have to be realistic crap. I just don't think it's real news, and I don't like it. This whole Powell defends independence is crap. It's actually not right. It's a misunderstanding of what he meant. There's no news. There's Mega Millions. That's interesting. Futures are actually up a little more. I bet there's no news other than flights being grounded, which is not really news at all. So that's fine. What else we got? What other news is there? So we look at bonds. Maybe we can go through the the list of tabs I've got. I've got some other stuff here, which is interesting too. Let's put up. I love that Corbus is up. Maybe today's the day when Corbus hits a buck. Maybe today it hits $1. Who knows? It's got to hit $1, right? Because that's the limit for them. It doesn't have to, but it should. Let's see, any news? So that whole thing on Silvergate got a bailout of $4.2 billion from Federal Home Loan Bank advances. That's weird. That has to be looked at. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. Okay. Overnight reverse repos at 2.2 trillion. Also doesn't sound right. We look at the reverse repo agreements up, but that's like a week old. Interest rates on reverse on reserve balances of 4.4%. That's really strange. That shouldn't be like that. That's a lot of money going out the door for no reason to help the banks. I get it, right? The banks are being forced to hold reserves, and so you're paying them to do it. Afro Circus is a really funny song from Madagascar 3, which my wife and I will dance to, and I owe money. It kind of sucks, and I got crap mail. So let's get rid of that. So what do we have here in the news? We have diesel, $4.63. It dropped another 2 cents. 1 cent. So gas and diesel are down again. Crude oil is up a little. Coal is NA. It's not enough of a move to really matter. I gotta get those out. Those aren't helpful. Crude oil price is forecast to decline starting in the second half. That makes sense. We keep drilling. But that's not really actionable. International trade in goods is old news. Reuters. What's going on with Reuters? Russia's selling oil. U.S. stock prices seem higher because of inflation. God, alternative asset manager Blue Owl raises nearly $13 billion for their latest fund. God, I'd love to raise $13 billion for my latest fund. I don't know if there's any news here. Set to open higher on Wednesday. Thursday's inflation report. So it's tomorrow. So we don't know. I guess that's a good piece of news, though. There is a Labor Department inflation report on Thursday. And the expectation is 6.5% year on year in December. And core inflation, which is excluding food and energy, they're calling 5.7%. Okay. That's what they're saying. That's interesting. Blue Owl. God. You know, maybe I'll call them up. I'll be like, hey guys, do you need a fund manager? That's crazy talk. And they're still offering 4.6%. The interest rates are still, wow, the 30 years down 6 basis points. Minus 6 basis points, and the 10-year is minus 5 basis points. Those are big moves. I don't know why they're moving like that. Anything else going on? It's 8 o'clock in the morning. I got to get to work. This is crap. There's nothing going on. It's fine. Bloomberg TV. We got one on already. Look at that nice yield curve. It's going even more inverted. There's nothing going on. I mean, this is always interesting, right? So yesterday, bonds declined. More 52-week highs than lows, but the declines in investment grade. So yesterday, that's important actually. So yesterday, the cost of investment grade borrowings rose. And it rose like 5.5 to 3.5. It actually rose almost 2 to 1. IG corporate bonds fell 2 to 1 yesterday. It's interesting because interest rates declined, but corporate borrowing costs rose. So that means the spread rose, and that means risk rose. Price of debt fell for corporates. That's interesting because that says it's one thing for the Federal Reserve to pay less. It's another thing for, Ford Motor Company to pay less. China was down a little yesterday. I mean, saying the VIX is down, that's interesting. Why is the VIX down? Oh, that's no, it's not at the close. Well, maybe at the close, but that's the VIX is down. Russell up all morning. Nasdaq up all morning. S&P 500 up all morning. See what Coyfin has to tell us. Yields fluctuate with inflation in focus. Okay. More protests in Brazil too. So yeah, the market looks like it went up yesterday and it's going to go up again today. I mean, that's a pretty positive chart there for today's market. Pre-market. So the market opens in 26 minutes. It's positive. It's up 0.5%. It's interesting is our holdings they fell yesterday because of Corbus. Corbus is up only ever so slightly in pre-market. So, yeah. Keep looking to see what's going on with FinViz. Yeah, equities are up. Coffee's down. Gasoline's up 6 cents. It's interesting. All right, let's take a look. 1 month treasuries. 5 minutes ago, 4.25. Makes sense. It's like a policy rate. The 1 year, 4.8%. That's a very attractive yield. So that goes against what we saw here on the long yields, which is interesting. The story's different. The 1 month is up. The 1 year is up. It's a safe place to put your money. But yeah, the 10 years down 3.5 basis points. The 30 year is down 4.5 basis points, because it's popping back up. It's not good news. The 30-year mortgage is at 6.21. Is up to 6.21%. That's not bad. That's not bad. And residential mortgage-backed securities are up today. They're right around 100, which is a nice support and resistance level for the past 3 months. So we've really not seen any move in mortgages. Total assets on the Fed balance sheet continue their ever so slight decline. 8.5. It's fine. No news on CPI till tomorrow. COVID, yeah. People are still getting sick on COVID. Yeah. Yes. People are still getting sick on COVID. We're still looking at November data. Reuters. Not enough workers. Just the stupid stuff. Housing data. So really no data. Nothing to really shake a stick at. Interest rates, little higher. We'll see if the FAA has updated their normal air traffic operations are resuming gradually across the United States. The ground stop has been lifted. Okay. We'll hang on to that. I'll leave you to watch Bloomberg TV while I figure out what the heck I'm talking about here. There was some other stuff that I thought was interesting. Sorry, Bloomberg. You're out. So one of the things that I think is interesting is there is a corporate tax reform. A corporate alternative minimum tax. I just want you guys to think about this. 15% of the adjusted financial statement income for the taxable year. A corporation has to meet the average annual adjusted financial statement income test for a fiscal year of $1 billion. So if you have financial statement income of $1 billion, you got to pay this tax. The 3-year average annual profit is $100 million. So that's really important because the tax is if a company makes $1 billion in a year or averages $100 million over 3 years, and it's the financial statement income. Statement, spelled it wrong. Fine. Notwithstanding change of ownership, The secretary could decide to not tax you. Single employer, so one person like a home office. All right. So here's the thing. We did some math here, and I'm going to publish it. We think this could raise up to $300 billion from U.S. listed and U.S. headquarters corporations. The thing that I don't know is whether I don't know whether this is any corporation other than an S corp, an investment company, or a real estate investment trust. Is it a U.S. corporation, or could this be a foreign corporation listed in the U.S.? They could be a new company. If it's a foreign parented multinational group, if it's a foreign parented multinational group like Walgreens or Accenture, the adjusted financial statement income shall include all the adjusted financial statement income of all members of the group. So, and I would not have included that in my run. So for, what did they call it? Members of a foreign parented multinational group. All members' income is included. Wow. All members of the parent is included. One entity is a domestic corp and one entity is a foreign corp. Wow. Okay, you talk about reaching across the pond. That's big. Whoever decided to do that had real guts. Real guts. They're really going to raise a lot of interest or a lot of corporate tax, and they're really going to drive things crazy. So, all right, market opens in 15 minutes. What do we know? All right, let's go find our... I wonder if I should listen to that song while I wait. It's kind of fun, but people might get offended. So we're going to look at the down runs. We're going to look at the up run. We're going to look at the up run versus the QQQ, which I do find fascinating because it's slightly different. We're going to take a look at the spreadsheet for the 10th. First thing to notice is when you reduce the risk premium on companies, you are much better off just buying the S&P 500. Full stop. Lesson number 1. The return to risk, the return to stock trading is lower. Only NVIDIA scores better. So that's point number 1. when we change the parameters to reduce the return to risk assets, then the S&P 500 ETF or index becomes a much better bet. The return to individual stock picking is reduced. Only NVIDIA scores better on a one stock risk return basis than the S&P 500 ETF, index ETF. Okay, that's really important for you guys to know. That's the big input. And then the other is the stocks that it's picking are very low risk. It does pick Apple and Pepsi and Coke and BlackRock and Johnson & Johnson. These are different stocks. Where's the Coinbase and the Silvergates and all that? Gone. So the second point, Chicago Quantum Net Score. By the way, I'll make this bigger for you. You should be able to read these. I don't want you to feel like I'm bait and switching you here or bait and tackle you here. The second thing, kind of point two, is that less risky stocks rule the list. Large cap, large income, safety bets. These are things like Apple and Microsoft. These are things like Pepsi and Coke. These are things like, oh my God, P&M, NVIDIA, Marsh & McLennan, right? CDW. BlackRock, which is interesting. Then Johnson & Johnson, Illinois Toolworks, McDonald's, Mondelez, MetLife, Broadcom. That's a little bit risky. Honeywell, Ameriprise. Oh my God. ITT, T. Rowe Price. Good dividend on T. Rowe Price. That's why. All right. Lincoln Electric. So we're back to low risk, low risk, low risk. Okay. That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay. What else do I see in the runs? So that's kind of an important point there for you. Market's going to open in 12 minutes. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop now. I want to thank you for watching. That's what I'm going to do. There's a lot of information. There's leptokurtic, platykurtic. I got my skews. I got my picks. I got my stocks that are up, stocks that are down. All kinds of stuff. That's a weird one to have up. From August last year. And so what you do is you could look for some of the data that we publish, negative beta, whatever, positive dividends on our website. You just come on over to here to the market information, which we update. We've got some research going on leptokurtic, platykurtic stocks. It's good info. And so you get free info. And then you could buy a run from us, or you can give us a call even, right? There's a lot of info. $750, you get the whole run. You get it the night before, or you get it pre-market. You can get a lot of info. You get a lot of info about stocks, right? And so it's great. It's great. Go for it. That's what we do. That's how we make money. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can go to Twitter and you can see Chicago_Quantum. And I want to point out, we got a blue check mark. We're validated. This is really me. We really are out there tweeting sometimes the most ridiculous garbage, and other times what people call free alpha, right? Who knows? Model changes. I published our model changes. Why would I do that? I don't know. I just want the world to know, right? It's low risk today. I just do it. So you can keep up. That's free. It's all free. Free. Our website is free. It's just you're gonna pay if you want to buy a run, because the truth is, if you got to run like every week, once or twice a week, you'd have a really good sense of where the market's going, where it's at, what's hot, what's not. And then you wouldn't have to invest in stocks like Corbus, which are exceedingly risky and, meme, right? That's not helpful. You could be knowing when the market is shifting towards low risk, no risk, or whether it's in high. So yesterday it was high risk. The last couple of days it was high risk, and you made a ton of money. So that's what's going on. Hit the subscribe button if you liked it, and maybe watch a few videos. Share with a friend. Let people know. It helps us. Thanks so much. I'm glad you enjoyed the video. Bye-bye. Good luck in the markets.